director for the St. Raymond Donatus Foundation for Freedom, Family, and Faith. I want to tell you what's been going on with us since we've been in existence in 2015. The Mercedarian friars came together and decided that they wanted to start a foundation to make outreach to families in crisis. And that's exactly what they did when the St. Raymond Donatus Foundation came into existence as a nonprofit 501c3 headquartered in Philadelphia. Since that time, I became the director in the beginning of 2018, and we basically have 4 facets to what we do. We offer prayer, priestly consultations, podcasts and videos, and also programs and events. Now, if you've never been to our website, just to invite you to go to nonatus.org and check out all the great things that we've been doing. Because since that time, since we've been in existence, we've now helped hundreds of families who are going through really challenging times. And as you all know, we went through a really challenging time in 2020. So I'd just like to invite you to go and check out the great things that we're doing. And there's more to come. If you or your church community would like us to come and do some type of an event where we can talk about what we offer in terms of that pastoral accompaniment and making outreach to families in crisis, please do reach out to us. And I'm just so grateful to be able to serve people like you and your families. So again, learn about us at nonatus.org. Thank you.
Fiat Ministry Network and Patchwork Heart Ministry present Journeys in Faith. Now, here's Anne DeSantis.
Hello and welcome to Journeys in Faith on Fiat Ministry Network. My name is Anne DeSantis. It's great to be here. And this is our Mercedarian Friars series. And as many of you know, I'm the director for the St. Raymond Donatus Foundation for Freedom, Family, and Faith at nonatus.org. Honored to be a part of that ministry. And the Mercedarian Friars are the ones who founded the nonprofit that I work for. So I'd like to introduce all of you to Father Justin Freeman. He is also on our board for the foundation. So welcome, Father. Thank you so much for joining us on Journeys in Faith.
Thank you, Anne. It's good to be here.
Yeah, it's good to be here with you too. And as we always do on this show, we start out with, that journey in faith, your journey in faith. I'd love for you to share with our audience a little bit about your own faith journey and how you became a Mercedarian friar.
Okay, well, I grew up in Virginia, and I wasn't originally Catholic. I was a Protestant. I belonged to a evangelical denomination called the Church of Christ, and the Church of Christ is is part of the Restoration movement that was founded in the 1820s. It was founded to kind of return Protestantism back to the Bible, back to its original foundation, and so the Church of Christ, emphasizes baptism by immersion, and they believe that it's necessary for salvation. They believe that they believe in the centrality of the of Holy Communion for worship services, it's just part. It's a smaller group. I think there's about 3 million people here, 3 million of them in the United States. But I grew up in that group, and then I converted when I was 16 or 17 to Catholicism, and I was influenced by a good friend of mine who was Catholic. And then after high school, I went to a small state school in Southern Virginia. I spent and then after college, I went to graduate school, and I worked a little bit. And then after graduate school and work, I joined the order in 2004. And I made vows in 2005 and was ordained a priest at the end of 2010.
Yeah, you've had quite a faith journey, and we've had other guests before, including even Father Daniel Bowen, who also was a convert. So I just think it's very interesting and wonderful that, you know, here you are with us and as a Mercedarian friar serving in Cleveland, Ohio. And I wondered if you could tell our audience a little bit about the order. Now, every time a priest or one of the members of the order talks about it, there's always something new, right? So even if we've heard it before, anything that you can share.
Okay, well, we were founded in Spain, in Barcelona in 1218, and we were founded to help to redeem Christians held captive by the Muslims. During that time, from the year 711 until 1492, the Iberian, Northern Africa and Spain, it was a scene of constant warfare between Christians and Muslims, and Christians would. It was really a battle for the territory and the soul of Spain, and it lasted, as I said, from over 700 years, and the Muslims occupied portions of Spain up until Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand expelled the final vestiges of Muslim power in Spain in 1492. And so what would happen is Christians would be taken captive. They would be taken captive by Muslims, and oftentimes there would be a bounty on their heads, and sometimes the family members were unable to obtain enough money to ransom their loved ones, and so various organizations within society and the church were established to help to redeem these Christians that were held by Muslims. So you had some government organizations, you had private relief funds, and then you had religious orders and military orders that were founded to help to redeem Christian captives. So the two most famous and currently the two current orders that were founded for this purpose that still remain are the Mercedarians and the Trinitarians. Today we don't physically ransom people, but we ransom them spiritually and educationally. There's so many forms of slavery now that the field is very, very broad. Ignorance is a form of slavery. Poverty can be a form of slavery. False ideologies can be a form of slavery. There are many different forms of slavery present today, and the Mercedarians seek to liberate people who are held captive by the Muslims.
Very well said. There's such a history there. And I just want to also draw our audience to check out that website. There's a website for the Mercedarian Order in the United States. It's called O.deM I know I've referred to that on other shows, but please do check it out and learn more about this religious order. We are in 4 different sections, or actually 5, right? Different parts of the country right now, which would be Philadelphia, Western New York, Cleveland, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, and also St. Petersburg area, Florida. And so just, check that out. And you were talking about, Father, the different forms of, as you referred to it as slavery, or maybe we could say even captivities, as we refer to in the order. Could you just expand a little bit more the way that you as a priest help people in that way? Because I know that you do a lot of hospital visits where you are. Maybe you could just talk a little bit about that as well.
Well, here in Ohio, we staff 2 we staff 2 parishes, and they're smaller parishes in the inner city of Cleveland, both traditionally Italian. And then we also staff 2 hospitals as chaplaincies. One hospital is a smaller hospital, mostly orthopedic and mental health care needs. And then the hospital that I staff is a large county hospital. I think it has around 900 beds with a level 1 trauma center. That means that all the serious cases from about maybe 75 to 100 miles away come to this particular hospital because they have the staffing needs, the staffing requirements, and the technology necessary to treat these people. Only certain designated hospitals have a level 1 trauma center. Typically, it's only 1 or maybe 2 in a metropolitan area. And so, like I said, this is a very large hospital. It has some very, very serious cases are brought here, and people who are very sick are brought here. And so, so you see a lot of injuries and a lot of sickness, and like it holds about 900 people. It has 900 beds, and typically about 1 in 4 of the patients are Catholic here. So it has a large Catholic population. So typically there's about 150 Catholic. It averages about 150 Catholic patients every day.
Yeah, I want to thank you for your work, because I know that keeps you very, very busy, in addition to just, bringing the sacraments to others, and of course, Mass and confessions and all the things that you do there at the church. I know that you did so much during COVID, and I just want to thank you personally, because that was a busy time for you. And on the topic of captivity, I do think, and maybe you would agree, that sometimes one of those captivities can be that sort of that despair, right? And sometimes when people are sick and have gone through something like this pandemic that we all went through these past couple of years, that can also bring a despair. I'm sure that you experienced that too when you met some people.
Yeah, well, I think any form of sickness it can be a form of captivity. It can be a way in which people can lose their faith in God. It's a way that it can. I mean, just being in the hospital, it can make you feel like you're captive in many ways, because I kind of compare hospital to jail in many ways, because they make you change your clothes, they book you, you're isolated from everyone else, and they give you food that you may not like, and so being in the hospital is a form of captivity. And when you're sick, and particularly if you just got sick, and you were healthy before, it can often cause you to doubt God or become angry with God, and lose your faith. And that's why the presence of a priest or another person is very important, just to remind you that God is with you, and that the presence of God is with you, and that God loves you. And the sacraments are the means by which God continues his presence in the church. it continues his presence in the world. The sacraments continue the work, the ministry of Jesus. So, bringing the sacraments to people, providing spiritual care to people, it's a way in which you continue to Jesus's work, redemptive work. In the constitutions of the order, it talks about how Jesus visited and redeemed Christian captives, and so that's what someone in healthcare ministry does. He visits people, and he visits them physically, just as Jesus did through our incarnation, and he or she tries to bring the presence of Jesus through his presence and the sacraments and prayer.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And it's very encouraging to hear, especially when you said it's that bringing that presence of Jesus. And I think as Catholics, that's something that we can all do through being Catholic and through living out our faith in the gospel. And you're doing that in a very special way with bringing the sacraments and visiting people at the hospital. So again, thank you so much, Father. Now, we do have to take a short break. So stay tuned, because when we come back, we're going to talk about the St. Raymond Nonatus Foundation and learn more about that. And Father will also be giving you some helpful tips as we head into the ending soon, pretty soon, of the Lenten season. So God bless. We'll see you soon. Welcome back to Journeys in Faith. Thank you so much for joining us here on this Friday evening with Father Justin Freeman, Mercedarian friar, as we were talking about his faith journey and his vocation as a Mercedarian priest located in Cleveland, Ohio. And he also talked about the work that he does also in the hospital, as he is a chaplain and gets to administer the sacraments to people when he is there at the hospital. So, Father, thank you so much again for joining us. And I wondered if you can share with us, now you're a board member for the St. Raymond Nonatus Foundation. You've been with us just for a matter of months, not quite a full year yet, but just to give our audience a little bit of information, although I think some of them know because they have maybe watched this program before, is that we were founded in 2015 by the Mercedarian friars, with the whole idea of bringing that pastoral care, pastoral accompaniment to families in crisis. And so our main 3 tiers of who we help in this ministry are, first, our families in adversities that are facing adversities, and also offering marriage enrichment so that marriages can be strong in the sacrament of holy matrimony. And then thirdly, something that we've been doing from the very beginning is offering pastoral care to Catholics who are affected by divorce, whether that be the couples themselves or the children of divorce. And sometimes if it's even relatives, it can even be brothers or sisters or neighbors who are just concerned about their family members or friends who are going through tough times. So first, I just want to thank you, Father, for being a board member. And now Father also does some of our, what we call pastoral consultations, which are free appointments that you can make either via phone or online call with a priest. And a lot of times it's either Father Justin or one of our other priests, Father Kenneth Breen, who talk to some of these people. But I wondered, Father, if you could just, maybe share with us what your experience is so far. I mean, obviously nothing personal about some of those people, but what is it like to be able to help some of these people that have questions about their faith and maybe some difficulties in family life?
Well, it's a great opportunity to be able to minister to people, and you see a variety of different people. It's most, I would say, in terms of demographics, it's mostly women. Wouldn't you say about 80%?
Yes.
And then, but you see people from a variety of different age groups, different parts of the country, and they come and they want to maybe perhaps be reintegrated into the church. Maybe they've been away from the faith for a while and they have questions about how to do that, about how to regularize their marital status within the church, or they come to you for just concrete marital advice on how to how to deal with a difficult situation in their marriage. Perhaps it's loneliness or some form of addiction that they are suffering or their spouse is suffering from, or just general light day-to-day difficulties in their marriage. And so it's a wonderful tool. It's a wonderful way just to help people and to bring to them the presence of the church wherever they may be in their journey with God.
Yes, thank you so much. And that is something that we offer. So if you're watching this right now and you're thinking, maybe you know someone, maybe it's yourself. And just to reiterate again that our mission is for those families and individuals who are facing some kind of adversities, which could be anything related to marital, as Father alluded to, relationship issues, something related to pro-life. It could be a job loss, sickness, and it can sometimes be something like depression, anxieties, and other things. We're not licensed counselors or psychologists, but what we do offer is that pastoral care, anything to do with the faith, the Catholic faith. So do check it out. All you need to do is go to nonatus.org on our website, and we have a priestly consult drop down there. So just make that appointment. We'd be happy to hear from you. And so, Father, thanks so much for sharing on that. Now, here we are in this Lenten season. We're kind of in the middle, maybe toward the end of the Lenten season when this program is being aired. And I wondered if you had some words of advice or wisdom on those three definite, facets of our faith, especially as we are trying to be more prayerful, more giving, like for the almsgiving, and also the sacrifice. So some people might be watching and thinking, I haven't done so well with my Lenten sacrifices, and maybe feeling like they want to give up. I didn't know if you'd had any words of wisdom for them.
Well, yeah, I suspect that many people have difficulty keeping their Lenten observances and their resolutions. And sometimes they become like almost like New Year's resolutions. We try our best to keep them, but sometimes we forget to do so, or we may slip up. And the important thing is not to lose hope in that, and to remember what Lent is all about. It's about drawing closer to God and trying to be a better person. And regardless of what season you're in or how far Lent has gone, we can always, every day, we can say yes to God once again. So even if you haven't done so well on your Lenten journey, or maybe you made a big resolution and you broke it after a couple weeks or forgot about it, that happens sometimes. It's never too late to recommit ourselves to God and to recommit ourselves to living the gospel. That's the most important thing. And every time we go to confession, we renew our dedication to God. Every time we participate in the sacraments, we renew our dedication to God. So, I would just encourage you to focus on what's truly important is, the celebration of the sacraments, and try to make a good confession before Lent is over. Try to recommit yourself to God, and really focus on one or two areas of your life that can be improved. Even if it hasn't been the best of Lent, we always have the opportunity to say yes to God.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I'm glad you brought up confession, because I know that when you listen to homilies, many times priests will talk about that, especially during Lent, the importance of getting to confession during Lent. So thank you. And it's just very helpful I'm sure, for those who are watching this show right now and learning about, why it's important to really make that focus and realize that God loves you no matter what. And even if your Lent hasn't been as great as you wanted it to be, that there's always time to start over every single moment and every day. Now, there's one more thing I thought we could talk about before we end, is that in your diocese right now, you're doing some special work in helping those who would like to find out about getting a Catholic annulment. And, we as the foundation, that is, of course, part of what we do with helping that pastoral outreach to the Catholics affected by divorce. Can you talk a little bit about that work that you're doing? Or I know that you might be in that learning stage too, because the diocese is training you and some other priests.
Well, yeah, I'm in the process of it, and so it's going to be a core of specially trained priests and deacons, and some lay people who are going to assist Catholics and even non-Catholics with obtaining annulments. So if you're in the Cleveland area and you have any questions, you can contact me at St. Rocco's, and I'll be happy to help you. The Holy Father, the Pope, he's instituted a different procedure for annulments. Now things are going to be done more at the base level. Now they're going to be done between the priest and there's going to be more coordination between the first contact, the priest, and the person obtaining the annulment, rather than having everything go straight to the court. That way it's more of an accompaniment rather than just turning in paperwork to the court, to the tribunal to decide. The Holy Father wants it to be more personal, more pastoral, to be what he calls to accompany the person in this process.
Yeah, that's beautiful work that you're doing. Thank you so much. And also keep an eye, because there might be some collaborative work between the foundation and Father Justin and myself, in terms of maybe my coming out sometime or doing something in the Cleveland area in this particular area. So just keep an eye on our website in the coming year at nonatus.org. So Father, I want to thank you for joining us on this show. Was there anything else that you wanted to add before we end?
No, just thank you for this opportunity, Anne, and thank you for all the work you do.
Thank you so much. And we hope we can do this again. I love hosting the Mercedarian Friars. In fact, remember, this is a series. And so we have some more shows coming up every Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. All you need to do is go to Facebook at our Facebook page, St. Raymond Donatus Foundation, or Fiat Ministry Network. And it's also on our website too, at nonatus.org on the live programming page. God bless everyone. We'll see you next week.
Journeys of Faith is a production of Fiat Ministry Network and Patchwork Heart Ministry. For more information about Journeys of Faith, email info@fiatministrynetwork.tv. And be sure to friend, follow, and like us on social media. Just search Journeys in Faith with Anne DeSantis.